everyone, and welcome back to This Week in Guns, brought to you by Patriot Patch Company, VZ Grips, and Primary Arms. On this show, we offer you commentary on all of the latest firearm industry news, information, and buzz. I'm your host, Matthew Larosiere, and I'm here once again with my co-host, Shawn Heron. What's going on, Shawn?
You know, nothing. I'm stoked to be here. Have you ever seen that video about the dangers of being stoked?
No.
Okay. Google it at some point today. It's like a newscast from The Onion or something about the dangers of being stoked.
Oh, man.
It's amazing.
I love The Onion.
It's just wonderful.
It's better than the real news.
But I'm actually stoked. I'm stoked to be here. I'm stoked to be alive.
Right on.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, no, it's been a minute. We both had hectic schedules. I've been in the middle of a move. Shawn's been, he's been switching homeless camps, but I think he might be getting settled in to a new one.
Yeah, switching arms, switching homeless camps. That's a lot of physical work, if you know what I mean.
For sure. Well, anyway, guys, let's hop straight into it. And the first thing we will do is talk about our friends at Primary Arms. If I can just add my
excited.
Screen. Oh no. Yeah, you should be. Because
I'm dare I say
guess this.
Stoked. Is there a sale?
There's a sale. It's the Score Big Savings Sale.
What is that?
Going on concurrently with the Finish Your Winter Build Sale.
Is that the Trijicon MRO?
That is an MRO HD.
Let's go there real quick.
For only $559.
Yeah, so the Trijicon MRO. So I have one, and I started noticing some things, and so I started doing a little research. Apparently, the MRO is trash.
Is it?
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it has like disgusting parallax issues.
Really? Okay, so I will actually say I adore my MRO because I have an astigmatism. And this is one of the only red dot sights that I can just use without glasses. And I don't know why. Interesting.
So my MRO is just a red dot. I don't have that reticle right there, which the circle dot reticle, in my opinion, is amazing. But yeah, parallax shifts by like up to 18 inches at 100 yards.
Okay, that's problematic.
Yeah. But the reason I bring that up is just because they have so much stuff. Like they sell everything.
Yeah.
Which is so much different from think about Primary Arms like 5 years ago.
Right. Oh my God, for sure.
It was just optics. And now they still do all the optics. They've enhanced that, built it up, and now they just do everything. Arms. Yeah. I have arms too, but theirs are way cooler. Yeah,
they've got this. This one's pretty cool. I actually like the Foxtrot and Mike 16-inch rear charging rifle. Glock style magwell. Only $679.
Yeah. Foxtrot Mike, man, they've been making a big name lately.
Yeah, they have. I really like what they're doing with the the AR-18 style stuff that's going on, the bufferless. That's really slick.
Yeah, totally agree.
But I'll have to look at the MROs. I've only ever shot my MROs out to like 50 yards. So is this like a well-documented thing that they're having parallax shift issues?
Apparently, yes. I hadn't heard about it, and I was just putting my MRO. I'm taking a tactical lever action course, and I was putting my MRO on my lever action, and someone mentioned it to me, and so I started going out and researching it, and it turns out Hop Flop File is like the best video that there is out there and demonstrates it very, very clearly.
Hoplofile.
Yeah, but it's spelled weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you know who I'm talking about? His YouTube channel is fantastic.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Ooh, Grey Ghost. I like them.
Yeah, $2.99. I had to view the price because,
they just sell them for very, very minimal prices.
Yep.
Primary Arms, they're awesome.
Yep, Primary Arms. And then we have a coupon code. It is code FRN. If you buy a Primary Arms optic, you will get a mount. You can check out the details of that on frn.deals/PA.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Now I'm all bummed, though. I love my MRO.
So my buddy, he loves his, too, and we were all talking about it in the group chat. He's like, damn it, I love that thing. So
yeah, I haven't seen those issues with it, but so now I need to take it on 100 yards with paper and see what's going on.
So he did this interesting test where he has the optic and the rifle fixed, and then focused on the red dot that's downrange, and then he moves the camera back and forth. So the red dot, the parallax of the red dot, moves.
Right.
but it's supposed to stay directly on whatever target, but you know, it'll move as your view shifts, and you can literally see the red dot like moving off of the target as it moves, and like moving, like I think it was like down and to the left, maybe a foot.
I wonder but if you practice with iron sights and you hold your gun correctly all the time, you would never notice that. But the whole advantage of red dots is that you don't have to hold your gun correctly all the time.
Right. Which is why parallax is even like a thing, because, you know, you can be out of phase, out of center, and still hit the target.
Still hit. Yeah. Well, and you know what? I actually bet now that whatever, you know, optics mastery is going on inside of the MRO that's causing it to have a parallax shift is probably the same reason I'm able to see the dot without it blurring.
Could be. So
it probably is.
I have astigmatism as well, and my dot looks like Rick's pupil from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
It's just a disaster. It's like my beard. It just looks like AIDS.
It's a little Brillo dot. It's not a dot. It's a Brillo dot.
Yeah, it's not a dot. It's like a sideways slash that has bled out into the paper around it.
A comma.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, oh my God, it sucks. But you don't have corrective lenses for it?
I don't wear glasses, actually.
You can get lenses just for that, and you have to wear safety glasses anyway when you shoot. So you should do that.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Wait, I really should do that.
Yeah, it's great. It's
That's
wonderful.
Thing?
Yes. You have to ask for it specifically. Like, you know, the optometrist won't just normally give it to you. You have to say, I want astigmatism correction in the lenses. And then they get all fussy because like the exam time is like it takes like 3 times as long as just the, you know, A B. But yeah, no, they do orbital correction, so it's on the like I think it's on the x-axis of the lens.
Okay.
It's really interesting stuff. And then they do all this stuff, they do this math, and then they put the lenses on you, and you're like, that's a dot.
That is so crazy. So I got
it on sunglasses and regular glasses.
What? Mm-hmm. I didn't even know I had astigmatism until someone told me that dots should actually be dots and not like just like slashes with dots and halos and bleed. So
for me, it was all like, I always just dealt with it because I just assumed that that's what dots looked like.
Me too.
Probably like you. But then I got an EOTech and I was like,
what is this?
This sucks. In the video game, it's got this cool thing with, you know, with stuff around it and the lines. And this is just like weird. Like it, and I was telling my buddy, I'm like, I hate EOTechs. It's a scam. Like that's not what the reticle looks like. And he goes, take out your phone and look down the thing.
And you're like,
I go,
oh, it's beautiful.
It does look that way, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, with my corrected sunglasses and my corrected lenses, I can use EOTechs, and you know, not that you know the outer circle and the lines are cool, and not that they're needed, but
yeah,
it's nice to have it. It does make acquisition a lot faster.
Totally agree. Let's talk about banter. That's going to infuriate that one guy.
Yeah. hey, guy, definitely comment. That doesn't help our engagement when you comment angrily.
Definitely don't do that.
I want to hear the news. I don't want to go to the optometrist. Yeah, everybody's going to the optometrist. We need all of our listeners to shoot more good.
More better. Yeah,
with red dots.
Yeah.
You got to do gooder. But anyway, let's go on to the news. This first story is interesting, as a lot of people have been very concerned about. A lot of people have been sending magazines into the state of Washington. As we know, their ban is most likely to be signed by the governor and to go into effect July 1st. I think it's July 1st. Yep, July 1st, 2022. And I was looking around, and the Socialist Rifle Association of Puget Sound.
Oh.
I'm sure that's not how you say it. Go ahead and comment. Tell me how I'm wrong. Put together this little slideshow. So what's going on? On March 4th, they passed 5078. It'll make it illegal to manufacture, import, distribute, buy, sell all magazines with a capacity over 10 rounds, labeled large capacity magazines. What? In essence, it just needs the governor to sign it into law. And when signed, it will take place July 1st, 2022. It is now illegal to buy LC mags from out of state. It is illegal to bring LC mags into the state after July 1st. it will be illegal to import replacement parts or repair parts for LC mags. It will be illegal to give LC mags to family, friends, etc. at ranges, training, or competitions to use. It says here, yes, really. And buying a gun with an LC mag included is also a problem. What is legal is continuing to possess them. You don't need photo evidence. There is no grandfather clause. So I guess whenever you die, you're just kind of done. This is great for all the people who are like, oh, I've already got mine.
Yeah.
It is legal to take them out of state and come back with them as a Washington resident. And I like what they put here. Cops are exempt from everything, of course. LMAO.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a gross misdemeanor.
This is also good. What do I do now? And they're basically like, get as many mags as possible. You need 10 per rifle and 5 per handgun. And they give a bunch of coupon codes for Glock and
good
AR
for
mags.
them. Socialist Rifle Association. You would not expect wonderful content like this, or maybe you would. Maybe I'm just very biased, but great job to them.
Socialist Rifle Association guys are actually pretty cool.
I mean, except that they're socialists.
Well, I say that, and I'm not at all biased by the fact that somebody showed me that on the Socialist Rifle Association Reddit, for some reason, they've all agreed that I'm the best gun content creator on YouTube.
Nice. And actually, I'm 100% just joking. Like, guns are what are my defining factor. Do you like guns? Do you support gun rights and gun ownership? Cool, we can be friends. I don't really care what the rest of your politics are. We'll fight that out in the World War. But
after the World War.
Yeah.
Once everyone has guns, then we will have a very entertaining fight.
Exactly. We'll fight that out later, but as of right now, we are buddies and compatriots.
Right. No, and this always reminds me of because I was one of the first people to write about the trans people and non-binary people being denied gun transactions by the ATF before the new 4473 came out. And there was a bunch of people getting on me who were like, yo, why would you want them to have guns? Why would you want the blah, blah, blah? And I was like, I just always said, it's like, look, we are literally facing the government trying to prevent us from just owning regular rifles. If somebody, wants to be in the trenches with you over this, are you going to ask to see their genitals first, or are you just going to hand them a rifle?
Well, yes, but it has nothing to do with whether I'm going to fight beside them or not.
No, yeah, it's just a polite request.
Exactly.
Right? It's not a prerequisite.
May I honor? Have you seen that meme? May I honor whatever? Yeah. I'm not going to say the rest because it's pretty crass. But
it's good.
I've heard the same about like inner city like black people. Like talked to Maj Touré about this a bunch of times, and Kevin Dixie and all these guys. And he's like, look, man, none of us, Maj Touré said to me once on a show, he's like, look, none of us expected to live this long anyway. Like, you need us. Mm-hmm. And that rang true. Like, it doesn't matter to me as long as you're about gun rights in the Second Amendment. The rest of that stuff is secondary. I am very much a one-issue voter. And I don't care what your genitals are, what color your skin is. I don't care if our cultures clash. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters to me at all. It's all about freedom, 2A, and everything else. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Definitely will discriminate on skin color. If leprosy, I will tend to avoid.
What color is a leper's skin? I actually don't know.
Different.
Yellow, probably.
I think it's like spots and things, but I don't know. We haven't seen many examples in color photos.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. The only way I'll discriminate on skin color is if it's leprosy, and I won't deny you a gun. I just probably won't use it after you've held it. Well, yeah, and then,
that you hand them the gun, their hand falls off, as I understand leprosy, and then you get the gun back, so it's like a win-win.
I don't want it anymore, though.
Just put it in like a tent with super glue. No, that's fingerprints. I don't know, man. I'm not a scientist.
We'll hire a scientist to figure out how to take care of that.
Yeah, and I think honestly that we all need to kind of the whole gun community needs to think about this. I'm not saying go one way or the other, but at least think about it, right? Like in the gun community, there's a very heavy religious aspect for a lot of the members, and I know that sometimes people's life choices and sexuality clashes with their religious values, and for a lot of people, religious values are their number one. And I really think that, like, us as human beings, us as Americans, there are certain things that we need to pay attention to and things that we don't. And personally for me, even if something clashes with my life views and my life beliefs, freedom is like the most important thing that we as Americans hold.
Well, it's the most important, and it's multi-generational, right? Like, yeah, let's say you own the libs right now, and the only price of owning the libs was flubbing the fight for gun rights, and now your children have nothing to defend themselves with, and that changes things a lot. And I am one of those people where Christianity is what drives me in being a gun rights activist, and for those people who get hung up on that kind of stuff, I guess the one little bit of sermon I'd like to include is, what do we always call Jesus? Friend of sinners.
There you go.
You can be a friend of degenerates and sinners too, if that's what you think of them as. But respecting their freedom and their individual autonomy is probably Christly.
Probably. Dude, I say that all the time, mainly to my girlfriend, just really? Jokingly. I'm like, yeah, I'm retaining my autonomy. And it's just so true. I say it like as a joke to her, but I mean it in every form of the word. Like, I don't want to be controlled by anyone or anything.
Not even myself.
No, I am. Yeah. If I find myself controlling myself, I immediately break out of that.
No. We just
get crazy.
Go back to the RNG. So that's good. There's your little bit of sermon. Be sure to comment angrily about that as well.
Good for them, though.
No, for sure. Maybe I'll have changed one mind. I don't know. I don't really care. Anyway, so speaking of lizard stuff, somebody uncovered a Twitter gentleman by the Twitter handle of Taiwan is a country and screw blackface Hitler. Okay. Yeah. Found this snippet from a San Francisco Chronicle article from some time ago. And this is where the journalist is recounting a story where he was approached because these people didn't like his bumper sticker. Two men emerged from a pickup truck. And you know what the gentleman does? Why don't you read this here?
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
He says, and I'll assume that this is his voice. I opened my glove compartment, took out my Glock 17, and flipped off the safety.
You sure did, buddy.
What are you talking about? I've got a Glock 17 right here. It's got a safety. Look, I'm activating it up and down right now.
Is that your Glock 17?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's by Smith & Wesson.
Glock 17. Oh yeah, here's mine. Look.
Yeah. See, they both have safeties. Yeah. So what's the problem? What the problem is?
This is my Glock 17 and 30 Super Carry.
This is my Smith & Wesson CSX Glock 17.
Oh man, that's so good.
Yeah.
I just love it.
And for those who don't know, Glocks don't have safeties. Well, I mean, they have safety features, but they don't have manual safeties.
There's nothing to flip off.
Well, maybe he was just like,
oh yeah, no, he looks right at the trigger and goes,
exactly. Maybe that's what he meant. It's unfair of us to assume anything
And this
else.
is right before he says, "May I help you, gentlemen, with anything?"
Yeah.
As he rolled down the driver's window and held the gun in front of his chest in both hands, which...
May I help you, gentlemen?
Sitting in the car? Yeah, that's...
Okay. This is weird, man.
I think we can help you here.
Yeah, this is weird.
There's a way to shoot out of a car window, and it's like this.
Yeah,
you gotta do it.
I don't know who taught him this, but I have a feeling it was Voda or that Detroit Dust guy. Yeah. I just love how cocky this is. Like, may I help you, gentlemen, with anything?
Yeah, as he tilted back his fedora so he could get a clear sight picture before flipping off the safety in his Glock 17.
Bro, I don't know. Like, what in the hell? Also, I love this guy's Twitter. Taiwan is a country and screw Trudeau, basically. It's great. Yeah. So journalists are journaling hard, I see.
Yeah. That's so good.
Wow.
That's so good. Well, anyway, that was just a quick one. We can move on now. So this is one that we've been watching for a while.
Yeah.
As you guys know, ATF announced a bunch of proposed rules a while back. The main ones were those affecting pistol braces and 80% frames and receivers. We recently saw, on a status report from the ATF that they were planning to move forward with these. But now, according to the New York Times Lizard reporting, ATF plans to have its rule on unfinished frames finished in April of 2022.
Wow. So we thought till June or June or July, and now April, huh?
Yeah, early April 2022. The Biden administration is looking for a victory, and so-called ghost guns seem to be where the president thinks he can get a win.
I know that I say this every single episode, but oh my God, this is what they are focused on. Of all the crazy nonsense that is going on in this country, I don't care if you're left or right, you have to recognize that things ain't good, probably mostly. And it may not have affected your daily life, but when you go to fill up gas, when you go to the grocery store and shelves are empty and hamburger literally costs like $5 a pound, you got to be like, we should probably do something to fix this stuff. And apparently the answer is ghost guns.
Yeah, we got to get rid of them.
Ghost guns.
The affordable mechanism for which people in the middle of America, can privately exercise their right to acquire a weapon that would be useful in their self-defense as we barrel towards a situation where their self-defense is more and more likely. That's what we need to get rid of.
Yeah, yeah. And this thing that we've had, 10 million new gun owners in 2021 or something like that.
Yeah.
18. I don't remember the number, so don't quote me on that. But it was many millions,
a boatload
of people. Many of them first time gun buyers that recognize that there's no one there to take care of them and that they need to take care of themselves and make steps to do so.
Right.
And stock up on toilet paper and buy guns and ammunition.
And buy every single SCCY pistol that's produced.
Stop.
They did.
Yeah, I know. And so these people that have now added to it, the answer is ghost guns. Your win is ghost guns. That's where you're going to take your win, President Joseph R. Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's where you're going to get the win. Because guess what? That's going to lose you at least probably a third of those many millions that bought guns for the first time.
Right, but the clear contention from the other side is that, and I don't say the other side in terms of left or right, I mean the anti-gun side, is that all of these people who've bought guns have done so because they were tricked, and this is some kind of spell that needs to be broken over. And like you said, the approval ratings of the president are at an all-time low, and as we know that especially as we go through difficult times, the approval ratings of presidents, they ebb and they flow, they fluctuate. But the pullout of Afghanistan was a big slide in the president's popularity. Not that I wanted us to stay there; it just was. The insistence on COVID restrictions. It's very it's very weird that you can't read the room enough to see that people don't like being locked and being on house arrest all the time. Mm-hmm. And then the biggest thing that's frustrating me now is, you were mentioning, the gas prices. I'm seeing so much aggressive misinformation online, and I'm sorry, I know this is a gun thing, but for right now, it's going to be an oil and gas podcast. They're saying nothing the president did had any impact on the gas prices. Gas prices are driven by, and it gives a list of factors, the availability of crude, this and that, and then the last one is the greed of oil companies. And then we have people saying no, this couldn't possibly be because of Russian sanctions, because we only get 1% of our gasoline from Russia. Okay. That's a really it's either unbelievably low IQ or aggressively dishonest, because we only get 1% of our gasoline from Russia because we refine the gasoline here. Right. We're getting, I think we were getting as much as it was 10 to 20% of our crude from Russian sources, and about 10-15% of our natural gas from Russian sources. And so then people immediately say, oh, that's just crude, that's not gasoline. Okay, so like the oil market is like the power market, right? And the two are very closely related in that their entire business is based on predicting demand, right? And based on predicting supply availability. And so when you have a cutoff in one source of energy, there's going to be replacement costs, right? And something as like 1% is enough for a significant change, but we're talking about like a grand total of almost, 20 or even 25%, where you have to have substitution and you have to move things around and you have to do that very quickly. No, it's very clear that, these aggressive sanctions are what are damaging us. And, we can try to get the Saudis to agree to cut their prices, which why would they?
Right.
But
I mean, it's not unprecedented, right? Like we have convinced them in the past to adjust to help out our economy.
Right. But like, this is weird. That's a price distortion.
Yeah.
It's not it's not an actual solution to the problem. And the problem is that everybody benefits from a free global economy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like when you put sanctions on your enemies, you are doing to yourself what you do to enemies in a time of war, which is cutting off a supply line. It just straight is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm never in favor of trade sanctions, and people, before anybody says whatever, it's because historically there has never been an incidence where hostile boots have gone over the same borders that goods were freely exchanged. So
fair. Yeah. And I mean, even like taking all that into account is very eye-opening, but just think about like, doesn't the EU get like 46% or some number like that of their gas from Russia? And now that like OPEC is going to fill that void for them probably. And of course that's going to drive demand and supply. And
right.
Of course it's going to make it more expensive for everyone else who wants it, because now there's this seller's market where everyone needs it and there's X amount of it and they can manipulate it however they want. Like
right.
How? Yeah, I don't understand.
Well, and then there's of course the fact that the United States is sitting on like enough crude to, that is just unpumped, unutilized to like power the whole world for many years, and the EPA has fixed it so you just cannot drill for new oil.
Yeah,
you can't. It's if you're going to play these stupid games and shoot ourselves in the foot, like, why not? And this is all administrative stuff, by the way, that could be fixed largely by the the executive branch, and they will not. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it's like that the United States has this strategic plan to become the only source of fossil fuels, right, once everyone else runs out. But that seems like we're saving for a rainy day that it will be many, many generations down the road. Yeah. Whereas right now it's like people are suffering. Why don't we just like maybe pump a little?
and I mean, people like citizens, everyday people like you and I are suffering. Mm-hmm. But additionally, think about like trucking and think about how important trucking is. And we've seen that like these trucking lapses can create huge availability issues across many mm-hmm. different products and services. And that as these prices rise more and more, as diesel prices rise more and more, that shuts down more essential services, more supply chain deliveries. Like this has very far-reaching and expanding consequences.
Well, and like in terms of medical stuff, right? There are a lot of raw materials that are used in a great many medications that many Americans depend on every day.
Yeah,
and those materials are found very far away in very specific places, right? And so then now when you suddenly have to prioritize every single, shipment, and in terms of dollars and cents, some of these generic compounds aren't always up there. You run into situations where you'd be very surprised to find in a 21st century pharmacy that you just don't have certain medications.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
Oh, yeah. Actually, one of the ones that I take, it took me literally like 3 weeks to get it filled.
Yeah. No, I use a beta blocker, and it was just gone. So and I was like, what the heck's going on? And I do the research, and it's like, oh, yeah, there's like one mine where they pull this crap out of. Yeah. And they just can't get it out for right now. In
fact, I had to change. This has happened to me twice now, actually. I had to change one of the meds that I take just for hereditary high blood pressure, also because I'm obese fat ass. But
yeah, you're fat.
I got it hereditarily. I kept it on my own accord.
You got it from being dumb.
Exactly.
And being low born.
Yeah. So I literally had to change because one of the things that was in it, they didn't have enough to make the thing that I took, so they had to like just take two parts, and I had to take them separately, and it was very inconvenient for me to take two things instead of one.
Yeah, it's disruptive.
Yeah.
Pump the oil.
I was very disrupted.
Pump the oil, and also, I mean, we're going to reach a point where population stops expanding, and that's coming fairly soon, probably within the next 30 or 40 years, and the population is going to begin shrinking. And that's because as countries become more developed and more high tech, the incentive to have children goes down, and we've seen this the world over. So we probably don't need to prepare for like right now our predictions are based on a world that continues expanding at the rate that it's expanded on, through the Industrial Revolution. That's stupid. Stop being stupid. Like, pump the oil.
Yeah. And I mean, even the Keystone Pipeline, like, on the one hand, the environment is amazing and awesome, and I think we should take very good care of it. On the other hand, some of the places that the pipeline was going to go through are like desolate, barren wastelands of nothingness that nobody lives in. And I'm like, I mean,
and likely never will.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Seriously, if there's a bit of this earth, of this country right now that hasn't been massively populated, there is a damn good reason why. And it's probably because it sucks beyond human comprehension to actually want to live there.
Yeah. I mean, look, people live in the Midwest of the United States.
Yeah. People live in Arizona.
We've gone where it can be gone for the most part.
Exactly.
We do still have we have 10 times the amount of land that we would ever need.
Yeah.
That's habitable. But like you're saying, these are all still relatively close to the centers where people are. We're not going to Siberia.
Yeah. Just think about this. Yeah. People live in Arizona where you literally cannot live without air conditioning and water that is pumped in from other places. Montana is one of the least habitated states in the union. So clearly people are willing to live on the surface of the sun, but not willing to live in Montana. It makes you think. It makes you think, what's going on in Montana?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like 17 feet of snow.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh my God. Well, all right. So returning to the gun show podcast thing, oil and gas podcast over.
Ghost guns are the problem.
Ghosts. Anyway, we have our sponsor here, our friends VZ Grips. Now, these are not specific to the classic VZ firearms of the Eastern Bloc. No, they make a whole bunch of different grips. They use this. I think they have a patent on this material that they use. It's incredibly light and incredibly strong, and they texture it in a bunch of different ways. Like this. This is super slick. We got 1911 VZ Hydra full-size grips in red, white, and blue. And, you've got this stacked compound red, white, and blue where the coloring and the texturing comes out beautifully in the way they machine in these grip textures. I've held quite a few of these, and I will tell you the grip is quite intense. They are, if you want to maintain control of a handgun, these are great. They've also got rail scales that are great and incredibly lightweight. They've got AR-15 grips that are great. They do engravings, which I'm quite excited to show you guys the grips that I have coming. Those will be here for the next episode. And on top of that, they have some of the coolest stabbing implements that are made from this material. I'm a huge fan of this pencil. I requested one of these, the VZ number 2 tactical pencil in yellow. It is made of that G10 polymer. And you see here, it looks quite like a pencil, but it says right here, don't expect to write an essay with one. It is a stabbing device. And you can get a little special pencil sheath for it too. We do have a coupon code for VZ Grips. And if you guys would like to check it out, you can go to their website. Oh, he just brought back his knife. That's one of their G10 alloy knives. The coupon code is ThisWeek15. That will get you 15% off. Very slick material, very aggressive grips. I really recommend them. You guys go check them out, and they support the show. And again, that coupon code is ThisWeek15.
Get it.
I was just lamenting, Shawn, that I didn't have my custom grips from them yet.
Yeah.
That'll be next episode. I'll be able to show the suckers off. I am stoked.
Absolutely. And honestly, like there's so many OEM guns out there that have VZ grips on them that people don't even know about.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Is it Cajun that puts them on pretty much every CZ75?
Probably.
Because every Cajun kitted out CZ75 I've seen, it's either because people didn't go and buy VZ grips, or it's because it's part of that, where they've got those really cool looking, really aggressive grips. Mm-hmm. That's
what's funny is every time I take this knife out, I have to make this face.
Yeah,
it's my snarl face.
Yeah,
that's the face I make when someone tries to take my French fries.
Yeah. Got a G10 polymer knife that is a very edgy red and black composite.
Dude, I'm going to stab so many things with this.
Yeah, Shawn has told me before that he's going to endeavor to see how he can break it.
Yeah, because, I know G10 is super rigid, and when I think of a dagger, I'm like, all right. What happens if I hit a rib or a shoulder blade? What happens if I jump out of a tree, land on the back of a boar, and stab it and it hits a rib? Like, do I have to resort to my spear, or am I able to continue with my dagger?
Oh, you know what I want to do now with the pencil?
Kill an iguana.
Well, yes, but what I want to do is I'm going to make a little 3D printed Picatinny mount that's going to look like a pencil sharpener. And you put the pencil in, and it'll have a pencil bayonet.
Bro.
How sick would that be?
Amazing.
A Picatinny mounted pencil bayonet.
Also, now I want to mount this as a bayonet.
Bayonets are awesome.
They are.
Bayonets are cool.
They are. We don't really fight like that anymore, but I would like to.
Well, so when was the last, so it's not very frequently, in the past, 80 years that bayonets were used as a primary offensive tool.
Right.
There was a bayonet charge ordered in 2005, which is a very interesting story. But, well, no, not a charge, but the command to affix bayonets was issued.
What?
In the United, well, not in the United States, but by a United States commander. But the utility of a bayonet is more so just a general tool, right? So even there's been times where I've been, out wandering around a piece of property, and I've had a Mauser with a bayonet, and it's like, oh, let me just knock this brush out of the way. Hey, what's that? Poke. I don't want to touch that. I got this poker.
Especially like the bayonets for M16s and whatnot. I mean, they're just knives.
Yeah. Well, and the French, when they redesigned their, combat arms around 1935, they realized that they weren't really using bayonets for that anymore. So they made it a cruciform, and it made it extremely long, specifically because they knew it would be a utility implement. It would be for, unit flags. It would be for poking things is one of the things that was listed in the, in the reasons for, because they had actually taken the bayonet off the rifle and then put it back.
Dude, they are straight up swords.
What?
The French bayonets are straight up like swords.
Well, they went back to a sword type bayonet for a long time. They literally just had a long cruciform point.
That's awesome.
Not a blade, just a point.
Oh, okay.
And it was because the soldiers exhibited distress from not having an implement with which to poke things they didn't want to touch. So
amazing.
It's like, I read that and I'm like, I want to poke things I don't want to touch. Like 100%.
Yeah, like 95% of the things that I touch, I would rather poke.
Yeah, no, one of my favorite guns, my Keltec RFB. Keltec makes a bayonet lug for it, and that was the first thing I put on that thing.
That's cool.
I put a bayonet lug on it.
That's awesome.
But yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the Bayonet in Guns podcast.
You're right.
Now back to This Week in Guns.
Banter.
Shut bantering. Talk about the news.
Okay, sir. All right. Ninth Circuit takes up review of pandemic gun store closures. So we talked about this case back when it got its ruling down below by a panel of 3 judges, and it was a super spicy opinion where, the judge explained that, look, and it was rightly decided. It was like these emergency orders shut down the gun shops while people were lining up to get guns. So you just eliminated their ability to acquire a firearm, which they have a right to do. And so it was violative of the Second Amendment as well as other constitutional problems. And then this was Judge Lawrence Van Dyke. He concurred to his own opinion and wrote a alternative opinion, which basically just blasted the way the Ninth Circuit usually handles gun cases. And he was like, I'm writing this to show just how intensely malleable you guys have made this, this precedent. And he set up the case in a way that was so intensely insane, but then justified it under Ninth Circuit precedent. So now the Ninth Circuit has taken it up on banc review, and what they're going to have to do, like the minefield that Van Dyke has said here, is that they're going to need to write an opinion that doesn't completely prove his alternative opinion correct. And I don't know how they can do that, because he took the exact logic that he knew that they were in logic, right, in scare quotes.
Yeah.
That he knew they were going to apply and like put it on blast, amazing. Like, referring to, the mere suggestion that something might be dangerous is justifying, the complete elimination of a fundamental right. It's really good stuff.
Now, do they really have to avoid it? Or is it just to avoid egg on their face that they would want to avoid
egg on the face?
Okay.
Because if they're going to be reversing a panel below, right?
Yeah.
They kind of have to tell them why they were wrong. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be, let's just say, when this ultimately gets appealed to the Supreme Court, that would not look good. If the judge below is like, look at how stupid the standard is. It literally anything can get through it. This isn't a fundamental right at all if you go by that standard. And then the Ninth Circuit en banc goes, no, look, it's a standard. See, we did it the same way.
Isn't the Ninth Circuit is also the home of Judge Roger Benitez, correct?
Well, yeah, he's a district court judge.
Okay. Some good judges there. Some
it's
really
a
bad
big
ones.
Circuit.
Some really bad ones too.
Yeah, it's a big circuit.
Yeah.
I'm admitted in the Ninth Circuit.
Nice.
They sent me a little plaque.
How cute. That's pretty awesome, though, actually.
Yeah, but the Elephant Circuit didn't send me one. Florida's like, you don't need that. You got an email.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, I mean, California.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to watch. I think that this, the emergency power cases are really fascinating because those COVID emergency shutdown orders were preposterous. They were egregiously unconstitutional, and they were allowed to go unchecked because most of the governments just pulled them back before they could be reviewed. And so now that we've got this case locked into the review phase, it may actually be able to get some serious review by a higher court.
That's awesome. I love it. Yep.
So here's hoping that the Supreme Court is not too gun shy.
Oh, dang. We got the sound effects.
Right, amazing. Next up, one of the big things that the other side has been pushing for is mandatory gun owner insurance, right? Gun owner liability insurance.
Yeah.
And this has been something that it's hard to grapple with because no one has written a law that makes any sense. And so the trace, yes, that trace, where actually know a guy who writes for the Trace. His name is Brendan. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but they revealed the irrational nature behind the San Jose gun owner liability insurance requirement. So basically, the mayor was saying that, your insurance is going to be adjusted, right? They'll lower the rates if you have a gun safe, you have a trigger law, blah, blah, blah. And then the Trace goes and does a little bit of investigative journalism they spoke with expert who said that insurance companies will not be asking those questions, and the behavior of gun owners probably won't change or influence the rates of insurance they get, because the ordinance only requires policies covering accidental shootings, which are extremely rare in San Jose. So this is just going to be like a cash cow for the insurance company.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure that, the Trace has like a different idea of what should be happening here. But I do think it's interesting that they point out the eggs on Mr. Liccardo's face.
He look at this guy. He looked mad.
Yeah, he mad.
He's like, "What'd you say?"
This guy looks like, what a ham and egg dude.
Right.
He looks like the most boring Sonny's eater I've ever seen.
He definitely looks. I love these.
Over medium, please.
Wait, that's how I order my eggs.
Loser.
Wait, how do you order yours?
Over medium.
Okay. Sucker. This is pretty funny, actually. And it does make sense, right? Of course, the insurance companies don't want to ask that nonsense. They don't have time for that.
Well, and also it's like they're going to look at what the minimum policy requirements are. Oh, accidental shootings. Those don't happen. Okay, yeah, give me $100.
Right. Yep, gun control is just more cost.
All gun control can do, and remember this, guys, is shift costs.
Yeah.
And, all gun control has done now is create a situation where, and it's I love this quote, and it's been said repeatedly by, one of my old mentors who I respect greatly, Clark Neely, who's at Cato now. He says, the state of the Second Amendment at present in this country is that if you're white, you can have a gun, and if you're white and you're well connected, you can take it wherever you want. God, it's true and annoying. Yeah, and so now they want to add white, well-connected, and wealthy.
I mean, this is literally from the very beginning. It has been like that, honestly. Not just the current state, but every state in between since the beginning.
I don't know about the beginning. I mean, I'd say it's been that way for like, well, at least, okay, and so, well, of course, there's the Reconstruction era and all that stuff, and the pre-war days, right? There were certainly some bad things going on. But that aside, the general policy towards firearms as implements, like we didn't see that like a heavy distrust for guns as an item, right? The distrust previously was onto certain groups of people, which is evil, right, and vile. But still, it in the 1930s, I guess, when it started to grow out of fashion to vilify human beings, they decided instead to target the firearm.
So crazy, man.
Yep. It is a fascinating clown world that we inhabit. So, last little story for today, and this one's funny. I'd like to show you a little image from our mom friends. These are moms. So this is Rachel FX. She's in Indiana Moms Demand. I believe she may be the local Grand Wizard for Indiana. Mm-hmm.
She's got the red robes instead of the white ones.
Exactly. Yeah. And so here in 2020, she was saying she joined Moms Demand to address racism, misogyny, police brutality, run for office, transform our political culture. Okay. A couple months later, we are protesting police violence because police violence is often tied to gun violence. And again, a couple months later, this is a vital step toward stopping police brutality. And then how times change. This was this week. Moms Demand has been here at the Indiana State House all day today to back the blue by opposing permitless carry. The Indiana GOP, not so much. Back the blue. Honk, honk.
Wow. I wonder if she puts that Fraternal Order of Police sticker on the back of her car, so if she gets pulled over, they'll know that she's one of the good guys.
Yeah, you're one of the good ones.
Right. Oh my.
Hashtag back the blue.
Wow.
And then they're like, going down the page, Becca McCracken says at INDGOP does not back the blue.
Oh, yeah.
What? Like, which is it? Are we defunding them or are we backing them? Because I'm confused now. And it's their fault that I'm confused.
Yeah, well, and then now all the ones this week, though, are standing with law enforcement to oppose permitless carry in Alabama. Vote no. Back the blue. Look at this. Oh, here we go for another ad hominem. Look at you.
Dude, I literally kept on scrolling because I was like, at some point, we're just dickheads.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. This is so like this person's face is
disgusting.
It's the issue is that when the face was being printed onto the skull, they centered vertically, but they did not scale. So we have like a 60% face printed directly in the middle of this page. That's problematic.
Standing with law enforcement to oppose permitless carry in Alabama, she says, or they say.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
It's not that I care about her pronouns. It's that I'm actually not sure.
Who cares? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does not back the blue.
Right, so
the GOP does not back the blue.
Let me think about this objectively. We're fighting against police brutality and police violence. Does that mean that we can't still support police? And I'm thinking as them. Or can we do or can they do both and still feel okay enough to sleep well at night?
Probably.
I guess
they
maybe
could theoretically, but like the question is, what are they doing?
Right. So they should just be more honest and be like, hashtag screw the guns, because that's really what this is about. Yeah. Or screw freedom. It's not even the guns. It's they're fighting actively against the freedom of citizens of the United States.
Right.
But I just don't know how they justify this internally, right? Because when I do things, I try to be consistent morally and ethically, and I genuinely spend time thinking about dumb stuff like this because I'm like, it's important, right? Like I need to be who I am, and I need to consistently be who I am, or else, why would I even talk? Yeah.
Well, you suffer from, the degenerative brain issue that I do and that a couple other of our friends do. And that is, our unhealthy fixation with ideological consistency. And it's clearly unhealthy because compared to the normal, healthy, neurotypical American, we are spending an unreasonable amount of time trying to be consistent with and have some form of self and some form of values. So we should probably just stop doing that and just start doing whatever is most advantageous to ourselves in the exact moment that things are happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guarantee that these people probably picketed law enforcement and have done so previously and will do so again in the future. But on this day, when it took freedoms from other people, they were like, yeah, I'm here. I'm going to hold hands with this cop right here.
Yeah, are you one of the cops that take the gun? Yes. Okay. May I honor your... It frustrates me.
May I
hold your Glock and honor it?
Yes. Thank you for understanding exactly the meme I was speaking, which I was speaking. I don't know. It feels so dirty to me. And I love that they're just calling out the GOP. They don't back the blue because it's smart. It's smart.
It is. This is clever.
It is.
I mean, it's politicking, but politicking is a vile science.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone's guilty
it's an
of
evil
it.
art.
Yeah. Both sides are 100% guilty of this voodoo.
Yes.
But this is clever. I often say that we don't give our opponents enough credit because they make some really clever choices. And this is one of them, because then it turns a certain percentage, a certain amount of people that are probably reasonably low IQ against, they're like, oh, look, my local GOP not backing the cops. I back the cops no matter what. Blah, 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 blah.
Stack the blue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we can all agree that Mom's Demand needs to shut the hell up.
Yeah, they're just boring. I don't know.
Yeah. I know. We did actually. Did you skip a story on purpose?
Nope.
Smart guns.
Did I? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Ermagerd.
Yeah, this is great. So I own a smart gun.
Do you?
An Armatics IP1 smart pistol. It doesn't work. And it's awesome. It was a 22 that was, when it was new, it was like $2,000. And it doesn't work. I'm
actually kind of jealous that you own this. This is a RFID, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And you have a little watch not a little. You have a huge watch that you have to open the gun menu. And then once you get to the gun menu, you press a button and then enter your passcode with the 4 digits.
You are kidding me.
And then once you've entered the passcode, you have to select how much gun time you need.
What?
So you can select between like 10 minutes and up to 8 hours of gun time. And then you activate the gun time, and then you're good to go for however amount of time you set.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
As long as the gun is in the same hand as the watch.
Oh, all right.
If you put the gun in the other hand, it won't shoot.
So this is not marketed as a self-defense firearm, right?
It was marketed as a target pistol, and they said that it was proof of concept, and a 9mm one was in the works. The gun industry entirely rejected it. Nobody would bring it into those states where, the presence of a smart gun would, trigger the law, and then thus only that gun would be able to be sold.
Yeah.
Shortly later, New Jersey and, got one and said, okay, this doesn't count because it doesn't work.
Oh my God.
And so like the only way you could get one is there was like 2 shops that were importing them in small quantities, and you had to like call them and ask for one. And, it was like $1,800 or something like that. And so I got one of those.
Wow.
But now
amazing.
It was $400. And I was happy to pay that for that little piece of trash.
Little piece of history. Yeah.
That's the first smart gun on the U.S. market. But so then, now we're seeing in this article, Bearing Arms by Tom Knighton, the media is claiming that there is massive support for smart guns. And, as we always say, there's lies, damn lies, and statistics, and this falls under the last 2. There's a new poll that claims over half of gun owners back smart guns development, as do 46% of non-gun owners, 55% of gun owners, 45% of adults overall, and 39% of gun non-owners said that they would be comfortable using a smart gun. And a smart gun developer and the NRA said that they are opposed to the regulation of smart guns. Okay, words. But a 48% plurality of the public backs the regulated legislation of the weapons, which can only be fired by verified users after being unlocked by a fingerprint, PIN code, or app. And my favorite thing about this is this, we covered this before. This company that is bringing the smart gun to the U.S. market, just stuck an Arduino in one of the 3D printed frames that were designed, by the catalog people.
Dope.
This is the Ivan and Freeman 17.2 frame. And we confirmed this.
Oh, yeah. I remember we talked about this on the show. Yeah.
So it's this is the great company that's going to bring you regulated smart guns. They used a frame that was designed for free access.
Yeah.
So that's so honk, honk, clown world. This is great.
Yeah, it is. I've seen Judge Dredd, and that tech looks pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
I also live in the real world where every single thing that I buy that has electronics, that has RFID, doesn't work. So I have one of these safes from Tactical Walls that has the RFID that you slide the card over and go, and then the safe will open up. Well, the battery died. So literally it is now just a mirror. I cannot get it open without destructively tearing it apart. I tell my phone.
Stuff in there?
I don't remember. Probably. I'm sure that there's something in there. Yeah. Like someday some archaeologist will find it and be like, oh, look at this. It's a high point. Cool.
Why did he put this here?
Yeah. Like my phone, the voice transcription. So I switched to an iPhone a while back and have regretted it every day since. I've been an Android guy since the very beginning, very loyal, but I wanted AirDrop. And that's the only way I could get it. So I regret it. I will never buy another iPhone. It's awful. But even like the Google, like connecting to my Bluetooth headphones, whether it's an iPhone or Android, like it only works some of the time, or it'll work 50 times perfectly. And then once I'll have to reboot like the building to get it to turn. Like I reboot my phone, doesn't work. I reboot the headphones, doesn't work. Then I have to reboot the router and that doesn't work. Then I have to power cycle the building and maybe possibly that'll work. And then my computer the other day.
Go to City Hall and shut off the main.
Yeah. Like tech is amazing. And I have been I've been in the tech industry my entire adult life. And I love it. I've experimented. I've done Arduinos and Raspberry Pis and all kinds of other things. And I've soldered my own circuit boards. And all I've come to is that, oh my God, don't trust technology ever, because it is flaky and it is violently irresponsible at times. And
it breaks for like no reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't trust it. And at this point, I don't see that I ever will. I mean, like even self-driving cars, I'll never own one until they add logic that chooses me, the driver, over a pedestrian, right? Like that has to be the thing. And of course, nobody wants to do that, right? If a pedestrian jumps out in front of the car, does the car swerve and possibly put the driver at risk by swerving into oncoming traffic? Or does it just eliminate the pedestrian that got pushed or stepped or did something to end up in the street in front of it? I want the car to choose me, the driver, over that pedestrian at all costs. At the cost of that pedestrian's life, I am comfortable saying I want the car to choose that, and they never will do that. So if they would never do that in a self-driving car, why would they do it in a smart gun?
Right. Well, but hey, man, I mean, come on. Look, everybody uses one form or another of authentication technology on their smartphone. You use that every day.
Yeah. The facial recognition is awesome, and it works half the time.
It totally works. Is it unlocked? Oh, now it unlocked after like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and point it at myself, and now it is unlocked. Oh, but hold on. Now I have to also swipe because it can't just unlock and do a thing.
It's okay. It was kind of cool that both of ours worked at once. But that stuff doesn't work every time.
Right. To be fair, every time I look at my phone, it's like a weird angle, and it's just like looking straight at my nostrils. Just
it's focusing. It's like, those are weird eyes.
Yeah. But that is the reality of using this. Like, we are never in this ideal circumstance. It even comes back to shooting. Like, you go out there, you train the fundamentals, you train grip stance, breath control, like everything. That you're doing, you train it all, it's all absolutely perfect, and then the day comes where you have to fire your gun and you pull it and you fire with one hand as you're falling to the right with 1 foot on the ground into a wall because you were off balance, and because that's what it happened to be. It's like, life is not perfect. Until life is perfect, we can probably never rely on technology for our life. Mm-hmm. Like mechanical, much different. Guns are mechanical. They're mechanical for a reason. It's a tool.
I'm with you, but it's the futures now, old man.
Yeah. I just ranted till I was out of breath. I don't know that I've ever done that before.
No, I like actually something that's written here. Smart guns are a lot like nuclear fission. They're just a couple of years away from being viable. Always.
Fair.
Yeah. This is the same thing about electric cars. Like, it was going to be that, electric cars are going to be in every garage, within the next 5 years. Do you know when that was first published in a scientific publication? 1910.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, and it's been published consistently every 5 years ever since. And guess what? There's still a hell of a lot more energy density in oil than in even the best batteries that you can get. So deal with it.
Oh, and also all those, some of the very precious minerals and materials that they make batteries out of have literally skyrocketed over the last few days, because guess where some of those materials come from?
Russia.
So yeah. I mean, I love the future. I openly embrace the future. But when my life counts on it, when my loved ones' lives count on it, the future can eat it.
Right on. I love it. But you know who can't eat it unless they wanted to? Yeah, that's right. Patriot Patch Company patriotpatch.co. That's Patriot Patch Company. They are the source for custom designed patches, apparel, and accessories for any freedom-loving individual. You can join the Patch of the Month Club, which is what we recommend. I've got here last month's patch, and Shawn has the new patch, which I just received in the mail. Believe in a Higher Power, and it is a very pretty pair of, what are these, Series 2, I think, Browning High Powers.
They are
the internal extractor and the relief cut.
Yeah, and they've even got the little dongle on them.
You got the Bingus.
Yeah, the Bingus.
Except, that's not inaccurate.
Yeah, I mean, you don't normally hang charms off of them, I don't think, but you could.
I think the relief cut might be on. Yeah, it's fine.
It's like it's a lanyard thing, right?
A lanyard to Douglas, but I'm talking about the relief cut here. It's for disassembly.
Oh, that one, yeah.
It's a very cool little attention to detail thing.
They are
that's
Celtic
cool.
grips, the Celtic cross. I love it.
Yep, the 12-month review here. We got a lot of cool stuff. I love that. I love my little Armalite. I love the Thumper one. It's interesting. This is do they do an Irish patch every year? That must be what it is. They
do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I've probably got 5 or 6 years of their St. Patrick's Day patches.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that what's coming up?
I think, yeah, it's like the 17th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is because it's the day before my girlfriend's birthday.
I don't even know what day it is, so I never.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't celebrate. I drink heavily every day of the year.
Well, anyway, there's a coupon code for you guys there, 10% off. It is TWIG10, TWIG10. That's for This Week in Guns.
Do it.
And I think all of those codes that are available for all of our different stuff are on FRN.deals, the main site, right?
No, that just goes to to Primary Arms.
Oh, I thought you had to do /PA.
Yeah, but I don't.
Okay.
I honestly don't know what the front page of that does. Maybe nothing.
You should fix it.
FRN.deals. I'm going to go look at it right now because I honestly don't know. Hold on. Looking. FRN deals is totally awesome idea. Still being worked on. Check back later.
So yeah, this is where you should put all the codes for everything.
Actually, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll add that to my super non-packed schedule. But no, that's a really good idea. I need to do that. That would make a lot of sense. But you could check out the Firearms Radio Network, firearmsradio.net. Lots of great podcasts on there, adding new ones all the time. And our sponsors on this show, This Week in Guns, are on our page there with coupon codes and links as well.
And links. And we are now going to be uploading Fudbusters content. I finally figured out how to do all of it in audio-only form for your listening pleasure. And I think that the state-by-state series is going to be a great thing to listen to if you want to get frustrated on a road trip.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. I love it.
All right, on. Thank you guys for coming.
See you next time.